G5 governors hold a London meeting to narrow down preferred presidential candidate to two. The 5 aggrieved governors within the PDP, popularly known as the G5, are set to take a final decision on the presidential candidate to support for the 2023 elections. To this end, the governors are said to have their meeting to this end, the governors are said to have taken their meeting to London, United Kingdom, where they are expected to conclude on a preferred candidate before making their choice public in January 2023. Niger News recalls the governors Nyesom Wike, Seyi Makinde, Samuel Otom, Okezie Ikpeazu, and Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State. They took a stand against supporting the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. What I don't understand is why they have to travel all the way to the UK to make a decision. Okay, well, they insisted on the resignation of the PDP national chairman Iyorchia Ayu from office and his replacement with a southerner as the only condition to support Atiku's 2023 bid. However, despite several meetings and entreaties on how to resolve the disagreement, Ayu has refused to step down, and the governors have also not changed their position. Information gathered by Niger News has it that the governors hold a strategic meeting in London. They might have totally ruled out any chances of supporting the PDP and Atiku. I'm so confused, but you know what? I think let's get context with these G5 governors first. Because the source added that the G5 governors are set to choose between the APC candidate Bola Tinubu or the Labour Party flag bearer Peter Obi. I'm trying to understand what the G5, what they stand for, why they have the name, and I've gone on and I've probably not seen anything relevant to that, but I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that these are governors that potentially could have been candidates representing the PDP in the next 2023 elections, because if you're going to describe them as aggrieved governors, like, oh my days, what happened to these individuals? But it must have been individuals that must have been picked, or, potentially could have represented the party in 2023, for whatever position. And as we know, the vice presidential position of the PDP was, heavily talked about in terms of who was expected to get that position. So yes, I think that's what I'm gonna define as the G5 aggrieved governors. Well, while the governors are said to be focused on supporting a southern candidate, they also want to choose a candidate that will defeat Atiku so they won't become a subject of mockery after the 2023 polls. I mean, I think this gives a different types of problem where you are part of a party but you don't agree with you don't agree for who is representing a party at a presidential level. Now that is a problem. The source said a final decision is set to be made at the London meeting as the G5 governors may kick off campaign on January 5. As quoted by The Nation, the source said, the London meeting is a wrap-up session on their preferred presidential candidate who will also be a part of the campaign in their respective states. Before they left, the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar was already out of the equation. Both Atiku's running mates, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa and Governor Emmanuel Odom, did not succeed in prevailing onto the G5 to support the PDP candidate. Okay. There's also another angle to this, which is the fear of supporting a weak candidate. So in settling for their preferred presidential candidate, the G5 governors are said to be wary of supporting a weak candidate who may lose the election. They are reportedly monitoring political developments in the country and will try to choose the best candidate to go up against Atiku. Wow, I mean, this definitely looks like more than just, choosing another candidate. It seems like an Atiku attack, to be honest, and I think the only way they could really get to him is obviously through the elections. But what I find very shocking is with almost every reason that, different sources have given, the intention behind the G5 decision is always for someone to go against Atiku. So I'm now like, wait, has this become an anti-Atiku thing? Because if it's a thing where you want to choose the right candidate and you fear choosing the weak or a weak candidate, and you're thinking of looking at political developments and looking at options, what is your real intention? Because going down to the root of the matter, the common denominator here is they just want someone to beat Atiku. So I don't know if these aggrieved governors have some sort of vendetta, or I guess resentment and a shared hatred, or I don't know, because it seems very, I don't know. But they've given 5 outcomes or likely outcomes of the London meeting, and it's either first to endorse Tinubu or Obi and damn the consequences, a flat option, which is to support Tinubu or Obi with resources and the right environment to woo voters in the 5 states, leave every governor to take any decision based on political exigency in each state or zone, refuse to campaign for Atiku and allow the electorate in each state decide who to vote for, or keep their game plan to themselves by waiting to the last minute before making a pronouncement on their preferred candidate. This is sounding like some boy band. I don't even know at this point. But I think this is another aspect of the Nigerian elections that, of course, this is coming from the PDP, but could really change a lot of things. Looking at the comments, Stanley Obina comments and believes that if they go for Tinubu, they will lose a lot of goodwill. If they decide to stand with the youth, they will be forever. Goods or God's Will Monday says Tinubu is the sure bet for G5. Atiku has moved on without them, whereas the sentiment apart, Atiku is the most experienced and ready for presidency. Is it now that they are talking about Southern president? It is late. Atiku is the next president of Nigeria. There's an adage in Yoruba that if it takes 10 years for one to rehearse or practice madness, for how many years will the person showcase the real madness? These 5 governors should know that Nigerians are losing interest in the political game they are playing. They should name the candidate they're supporting and let's proclose this unending rigmarole. But they should remember that and quickly come to realization that over 70% of Nigerians have made up their mind about the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. And as I say this, so that they will be well guided in choosing their unanimous presidential candidate for next year's election. I feel like, to be honest, do you know what? I think this comment has really brought things into perspective. These G5 aggrieved boy band governors, they actually don't matter. Like, okay, fine. They are in the southern states. These individuals are governors, yes. Whoever they support, of course, would pull weight. But I think, as this individual said, Nigerians are losing interest in the political game, or the aware ones, to be frank. Of course, there will be individuals, or there will be that group that their poverty and lack of education will be weaponized against them. But to a very large extent, and those that are so aware of the elections and can think for themselves, we are so lost in this. These are literally individuals that for some reason have their personal. They can go and deal with it. But for Nigerians who actually want development and are actually looking to make the right decision, who don't have the luxury of traveling to another country to decide who they will vote for. Come on. So really, putting things into perspective, these individuals do not matter. In the grand scheme of things, in terms of thinking about, okay, fine, what do Nigerians actually want? Because these are 5 individuals, but then you also have that in the southern states, Peter Obi is also pulling weight by gaining, support in these states already. We don't need these governors to do anything else. And someone already said Atiku has moved on, so literally they should move on too. Put what you think about it in the comment section below. Do not forget to like and subscribe.